T. Gray and MK, you are now cleared for flight school takeoff.
4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Now, Mr. Bugs is coming on here today, so you guys know for sure, he's going to show you how the money is made. He's definitely going to show you. You're going to learn something today from Mr. Bugs that is 100% going to increase your ability to earn. But here's what we can't do. We cannot guarantee how much money you or any particular individual is going to make. And that's, of course, because we still, in 2025, can't guarantee what any particular individual is going to do, right? Some are going to take this incredible information from Mr. Bugs today. They're going to take it. They're going to do a lot. They're going to make a lot. Some are going to take it. They're going to do a little. They're going to make a little. And some are going to take it and go, ooh, that sounds great. I took 1,000 pages of notes and do nothing and make absolutely what? Nothing. So since it's an individual thing and it's all up to you, you got to ask the man or the woman looking back at you when you brush your teethuses in the morning and floss them twice, like Mark says. Ask that person, how much money am I going to make? That's our disclaimer. We're sticking to it. And guess what? It's time for a word from our sponsor. Roll them.
All right, Ibüümerang family, MK coming to you from the flight deck. Let's pull up the slides. All right, Mr. Bugs is going to kick off the year strong in 2025. It's going to be fire. Stay connected with the WhatsApp community, iboomnation.com. Go there, fill out the information, search at Ibüümerang, and click join. What do the January leaders want for their birthdays? We are fundraising for the BÜM Foundation, and you can go to theboomfoundation.com or your back office, and we prefer your back office. Every little bit helps the children. What does Anna Yurichev want for her birthday? BÜM Foundation donations. Chargebacks. If you charge back, you will be terminated. However, you can go to iboomhub.com/downloads and download the multiple use credit card form. Do not give your funds to anyone for trading. Ibüümerang will not be held responsible for your loss of funds. Don't do it, folks. Not allowed cross-recruiting and switching teams. It's grounds for termination for both the switcher and the sponsor. And this is your brick. You are personal star achiever, 300 QV, dual team qualified, one left, one right, 10 elevate customers, 1,500 QV. That all adds up to a grand total of 1,800 PQV. You want everybody on your team to accomplish and maintain this. CEO Circle, 10 elevate customers, and you can go to all events for free, but you've got to be qualified for 3 months in advance. CEO Corner, 25 elevate customers, and you can go to all virtual and live events, including Elevate boot camps for free, but you've got to be qualified for 3 months in advance. Rank Up. Everybody should be using Rank Up. Training call and recordings are now on iboomhub.com. And the YouTube playlist is live. It's right at the top, folks. youtube.com/Ibüümerang. Ibüümerang Rank Up presentations by your top leaders. Log into Rank Up, click prospecting videos, grab the link and send it. And you've got to match up the prospect with the presenter. Profit Snatcher testimonials now in Rank Up. Log into Rank Up, click prospecting videos, click Profit Snatcher testimonials, grab the link and send it. And again, you've got to match up the prospect with the presenter. Travel and Trade Corner with Doris Lopez. We like to call her D-Lo. Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Elevate Private Coaching Program. Deanna, Shameen, G-Money. They will help you get to your trading goals. Live trading with the best profit coaches. Trade Buddy subscription is required. Send us your Profit Snatcher wins and Trade Buddy video testimonials. Send your Elevate and Trade Buddy video testimonials to profitsnatchers@elevate.com for the written and TradeBuddyTestimonials.com for the videos. Elevate and Trade Buddy. Profit Snatchers monthly schedule. Profit Snatchers Americas every first and third Wednesday of the month. That's 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Profit Snatchers Europe every second and fourth Thursday of the month. That's 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9 p.m. UK time. Trade Buddy Elevate Call, Tuesdays, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. Shamim Agahi, Master Trader, will answer all your questions about Trade Buddy and help you understand how to utilize Trade Buddy to maximize your profits. This is the only call today, folks. MK coming to you from the flight deck. What's up, bro?
And we're back. I think we're back. No, we're not back.
AJ.
Now we're back. Oh my goodness. All right. We're back. Good to see you, everybody. What's happening, folks? What's happening?
We're gonna get AJ. We need to wish her a happy birthday.
Huh?
We need to wish AJ a happy birthday.
We'll get her. We all happen to be in the office today.
Okay.
Uh-oh. I hear a skirmish happening. Skirmish. I'm hearing the word skirmish.
We want to wish her a happy birthday.
And where's she at? Is she coming on?
Yeah. Yep. She's making she's making HB a cup of coffee. Yeah. All right.
All right. Well, she's holding up a show. Okay. Where's she at? Is she okay? Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to keep it moving because while she's making the coffee, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the white zone.
Okay. All right.
How about that? Let's go ahead and do the white zone. And when we get it, because I already know how that movie is going to go. All right. Cool. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the first white zone of 2025. It is the white zone. We know it's the first 10 days of the month, especially for our new people. We want to build with structure and strategy. And this is the way you do it. We split the month into 3 zones, the white zone, the blue zone, and the gold zone, each of them representing a period of 10 days in the month. The first 10 days, the white zone is where we do massive exposure. Massive. Exposing. Why? Because the number of exposures you make will 100% determine the growth of your business. And I challenge you to put the law of large numbers on your side. You know, Mark, so many times people will say, hey, man, I'm not winning. How come nobody? Say, pull out your calendar and let me see how many exposures you've done this month. And when someone pulls out a calendar and says, I've exposed my business 3 times in the last 30 days, I go, what? If you imagine if you had a store and you only open your store 3 times in the last 30 days, your store would be broke too, right? So you want to make sure that you are massive exposure, exposing. What are the different ways that you can expose? You got your 3-way calls. You got your I-decides. You got your one-on-one presentations. You got your get a group of people together and have a BÜM party. You got your get people in a hotel and have a hotel meeting like they're doing in the UK. You got your conference. Well, I don't even know who's doing conference calls anymore, but you got your video conferences like Zoom, right? So you do all those things. Now, here's the thing. Let's do this the right way coming out of the gates. Grab your calendar, your flight plan calendar, and keep track of all your presentations. And watch it, how when you track that, when you track your numbers will grow, right? So you would definitely want to do that. Let's go to the next one on the white zone here. Now, when you know your numbers, you get to grow your numbers. What are we watching? We want to have a daily plan. How many exposures are you going to do each day, right? How many people are you going to expose each day, right? Each week, each month. And when you track those just by consistent exposure, here's what's going to happen. You are going to find the right people. You're going to find the people who are looking to find you, and they will join your team. And that's going to be super exciting. So it's the White Zone, folks, and we are focused on massive exposure through the 10th of the month. All right. Let's talk about my buddy. What's my buddy?
Pissed money, 12:30 through 1 January 3rd.
3.
Gold, 2 trades, 1 win, 1 loss. 203 pips, win rate 50%, profit per 1 lot traded, $2,030. GJ, 3 trades, 3 wins, 0 losses, 498 pips, max win rate 100%. Profit per 1 lot traded, 3,092. UCAD, 6 trades, 5 wins, 1 loss, 186 pips, win rate 83%. Profit per 1 lot traded, $1,361, 11 trades, 9 wins, 2 losses, 82% win rate, 887 max pips.
And there's my Bonnie Bon Marshall. That's what I'm talking about right there. Who said the whole slide is not showing? Let me see. I don't know why your slide is not showing, somebody. Who's saying that? I'm seeing the whole slide on both Facebook and Zoom. Just your deal. All right. But there's Bonnie with the answer. What was the answer there, Bonnie? What was the answer there?
We're wishing you a happy birthday.
You are such a silly.
Happy birthday, Hannah. That was not the answer, but Trade Buddy, even on a slow week, buddied his tail off. 82% win rate. Bonnie right there with the answer. $7,483 is what someone could have made if they took each of these trades at a full lot. I'm here to tell you guys that Trade Buddy is buddying. I hope that's part of your 2025 plan to get really good at just following Trade Buddy and maximize those dollars. Yes, somebody said Buddy the Elf. Yes, David Romero, of course he would say something like that. Yeah. All right, are we ready out there? Birthday girl. It's like all of a sudden it's like so quiet out there. It's like the rapture came and they left me. Why is it so quiet out there? Do you know?
No.
Hold on a second. You good? I found him, everybody. What's going on, bro? You can just go put your shirt on too. No, I just told everybody it got really quiet out here all of a sudden. And I'm like, are we ready? Now I hear anything back. And I'm like, did the raptor come? They left me? Okay, hold on. All right, okay, everybody. This is what happens when we do flight school from the office. All right. You can stop sharing the slide. It is that time. We're about to bring on Leo. You're so crazy. Leo is crazy. We're about to bring on the boss, the man, HB, the living legend, Chief Executive Officer and founder by Boomerang, and industry icon, fearless leader, visionary, the man. Come on, HB, come on to the show. And HB. Abracadabra. Hold up.
T-Gray, never fear. The CEO is here. I am live. T-Gray's right now running around trying to find me. I'm here. I am here. I can't see anybody right now. I'm talking into a camera right now with a blank computer screen for the time being. But anyway, Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year. Thanks to T. Gray and Mark, starting it off again. Another great start to an incredible flight school that we'll have. And Happy New Year, everyone. I would tell you to put some fives or some fire in the chat, but I can't see anything. And so I am right now talking like I am addressing the Matrix, if you will, just into a blank camera right now, and with a couple of people behind the camera, but that's about it. But anyway, I think we can still do an incredible flight school. I normally would say it's great to see everyone. All right, I think they're bringing me a laptop. Even guys, if you put a laptop over here.
You know what? As soon as you
it.
start, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to make sure you're all take care of it. I know these guys are working.
That's okay. Well, no, I didn't ask for it. I told them that I want to do flight school from here. And so they're turning on a monitor right now for me to be able to see everyone. But anyway, because I like to say it's great to see everyone, but I would actually be lying if I said that because I can't see anyone. But anyway, how many of you right now how many of you still have your A? If you still have your A, now I'm going to go and check the chat in a minute when they put this screen up. I'm going to be able to check all of what I'm saying. Many of you probably wondering, what do I mean? HB says, do I still have my A? In the very beginning, and I'll go back to the very beginning. You know what I'm talking about, all right? When God created Adam, everything was perfect. There was no sin. There was nothing. And then some things took place and Adam lost his A accordingly when Eve went and took a bite of the forbidden fruit. And since then, the world has had problems. Now, I blame Adam for that. And I'm not going to get into some religious dichotomy here or conversation, but I blame Adam for that because Adam had dominion and Adam had responsibility. And ever since then, we've had to fight every single year to reclaim and get back to that place that we call the top. And it starts like that in school as well. How many of you ever remember going to school and having your professor or having your teacher say, hey, listen, today's the first day of school and today everyone has an A. Now, it's up to you for the next 9 weeks to maintain and keep that A, but everyone is going to start off with an A. And here's what I want to share with you. For 34 years now, I've been doing network marketing. 34 years. September made 34 years. And every year, I watch people start off with an A. January 1 comes for everybody who wakes up in January 1. That day actually comes. That is the day of perfection. That is the day where you can have it all. You can have your goals, you can have your dreams, you can have your aspirations, you can have whatever it is that you want, you can have all of it. And what happens is we have fallen into that, I would call it that hereditary trap of falling from grace and losing step and getting behind. Now, some of us get behind very early and some of us get behind midterm and some of us get behind towards the end. And some of us follow all the way through and have an incredible year. And that's some of us. And I have to tell you, I have joined that club of whereas I started off with an A and I never forget, man, it wasn't even 1 day into the year. And here I was, I have fallen off of everything that I promoted to myself and everything that I said that I was going to do. It's called life. And many of you right now, you have an A. And even if you have fallen off, I'm going to give you that eraser right now. And I'm going to allow you to just take that imaginary or that mental eraser and erase how you have fallen off. We started off with goals, and hopefully those of you who are on this call, you actually set some goals for what 2025 is going to be. And I've seen so many people say, oh, 2024 was such a boring year or such a good year, such a bad year, whatever it is. 2025 is going to be a better year. And how many of you have said that at least 25 times? How many of you have said the next year is going to be a better year? 25, 30, 40, 50. Some of you have actually said it 60 times. Some of you said it even more than that. Well, I can tell you, I've had my share of being able to say how great the new year is going to be. And when I say how great the new year is going to be, guess what happens? I at least start off with the idea and the image and the thought process of how great the year is going to be. And then the year starts to happen. And it's not that the year starts to happen, I happen. And what we want to do is this. Today, guys, what we want to do is we want to set you up for success. We want to set you up for having the results that you've always talked about. Instead of coming here a year from now and saying, you know what, 2026 is going to be an incredible year, knowing that you haven't done the things that you set off to do in 2025, let's go ahead and make a commitment that we're going to take it day by day, week by week, task by task. And if we can break it down to those daily tasks, to being able just to manage the task and complete a day, what happens is you'll be amazed at how much of a difference 1 year actually does make. You'll be amazed. And so let's talk about it. Last week, you guys actually got set up last week. Last week, if you were on flight school, you actually got the blueprint, the game plan, okay? In a fashion that you have never, ever seen it before. And you also had an opportunity to work with each other on some of the tasks that were there. That wasn't just a training, ladies and gentlemen. That wasn't just, okay, well, we're going to get on flight school, share some other information. That was life impacting information for how you should be attacking or approaching almost everything. Okay. The eraser is there. You now have the opportunity to have a clean sheet of paper, if you will. Okay. So I've got some stuff on this one here, but I can take a clean sheet of paper and I can start fresh. Nothing on it. Okay. And so what I want to make sure that you do is I want to make sure that you actually put together your own mental reset. All right. What I want to talk to you about today is I want to talk to you about how to set yourself up mentally, how to set yourself up emotionally for the year to come. Some of the things that you should be doing this year, some of the ways to manage your successes, some of the ways to manage your episodes of failure. Now, before we even go into any of that, one of the things that I want to share with you is this, is that the year that you're going to have in 2025 has everything to do with your mindset. It has everything to do with how you actually see yourself. Because remember, some people are having a good year, some people having an incredible year, some people having an amazing year, and some people having okay years, some people having horrible years. And it has nothing to do with all the things around them. It has to do with how they see themselves, how they see their own life. And in going into this year, one of the goals that you should have is your personal development goals. How are you going to change your particular frame? All of us have a frame in which we see the business. All of us have a frame in which we actually see our life, how we see our relationships, how we see our organization, how we see our customers. We all have a frame of how we see competition, how we see the industry, how we see our job, how we see our product. I can't tell you what your frame is, but somebody has shaped your frame. And the way your frame is shaped, is going to be the same way your game is shaped. Okay? The way your frame is shaped is going to be the way that your game is shaped. And what game are we talking about? We're talking about 2025, the game of success, the week by week, or the daily task. Okay, the week by week concepts that you're actually going to accomplish week by week, and then the monthly things that you're going to accomplish as well. And so the first thing I talk about that I want to talk to you about is I want to talk to you about reshaping your particular frame. What belief systems do we have right now that didn't serve us in 2024? And I want you to write some of these down. What belief systems did you have that actually did serve you? Regardless of what it is, because here's the thing I want you to understand. The success that you're going to have in business, I don't want you to take your entire year and say, everything for 2025 is only dedicated to how I make money. There's 4 categories in life that I always focus on with people, and it's what I call body, being, balance, and business. Your body. What's your body goal? How many of you, when you look in the mirror right now, do you like what it is that you see? Okay. Are you at optimum weight? Are you at optimum fitness? You know, when I look in the mirror right now, you know what? I'm proud of the progress that I've made, but I also see some incredible opportunities. I see an image of this chiseled guy with the 6 and an 8-pack. Okay, not the 6-pack, but the 8-pack. I see that guy in the mirror, but there's some layers that has to be pulled back so that that guy can actually start revealing himself in the mirror. So there's opportunities there. I didn't do all of the best things that I could have done. I made some adjustments, but I didn't follow through on what I said I was going to do. I look at my 2024 and I'm like, you know what? What I did in 2024 with my body was much better than what I did in 2023. But I'll give myself the credit for that, but I'm not going to go around singing my praises. Why? Because I knew I could have done a little bit better. Okay. I knew I could have done a little bit better. The number of days that I worked out and made a commitment to my physical activity was I did 100% more. I did double the production in 2024 than I did in 2023. I am proud of that, but I left a lot of meat on the bone. I woke up this morning and after waking up and getting myself together and looking in the mirror, and I'm like, you know what? 2024 could have been a Mark Cathcart year. If any of you know what a Mark Cathcart year is, that's like, you know, that's like, you know, just saying I could have been perfect when it comes to taking care of my physical, taking care of my body, and never afraid to have a shirtless moment, if you know what I'm talking about. All right. It's what I call a Mark Cathcart year. So, you know, if you go to my house right now, I got this picture of Mark Cathcart on my mirror. So, but how many of you? Let's talk about it. Okay, let's think about it. And right now, let's score ourselves right now. Let's just have a moment. Are you guys okay with having a moment of vulnerability here? How many of you are okay with having a moment of vulnerability? I can see you guys now in the chat. I can see all the chats. How many of you are okay with having a moment of vulnerability? Okay, so let's go through this, all right? Let's go through these 4 areas of what I call body, being, balance, and business, all right? So let's talk about our body. Let's grade ourselves for 2024. Now, some of you don't want to be vulnerable. Some of you are maybe a little bit embarrassed. Now, we're going to talk about that particular frame because you have the opportunity to make those adjustments. Here's what I can tell you. Nobody is going to do them sit-ups for you. Nobody is going to walk the miles for you. No, those weights are not going to lift themselves. That treadmill is not going to take pounds off of you if you don't put the miles on. So if you were to score yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 meaning that, you know what, you were up there, you did everything that you set out to do from a body standpoint, your eating habits, the quality of foods that you were going to eat. Here's the other thing that I want to share with you. Sometimes it's not all about what it is that you are doing. Sometimes it's what are you not doing? What are you not doing? Okay. And some of us have some habits that contribute to areas in our life that may not necessarily be good. How many of those habits that you eliminate or that you reduced? So if we were to rate our body performance in 2024, what would you give yourself on a scale of 1 to 10? Did you even have a plan? Did you have a goal? Did you move forward? Did you do what you said that you were going to do? Okay. Because if I was to rate myself, I'd honestly give myself a 6. That's me, okay? Now, don't go in here in the chat and give yourself 6s because HB gives himself a 6, but that's what I give myself. I give myself a 6. Let's see where you rate yourself. In the body category, 2024, in the body category, where would you rate yourself? George, is this thing updating here? Because I don't see any numbers flying here. Oh, okay. Okay. I'm getting some numbers in there. Well, no, it just wasn't flowing. Okay, there we go. Now I see it flowing. It just wasn't moving. It was still stuck. Okay. No, you can have the screen like it was as well so that I can see the camera as well. Yeah. Now, some people, I see a 1 there, I see some 4s. There you go. I see some 2s. Okay. So I see some 7s in there, 3.5s, 5.7s. Listen, if you put a 5.7, you're very optimistic, right? What's the 0.7, right? Okay. Eve, the very optimistic, that 0.7, I see a 6.5, all these decimals that are in here, right? Now, so when you take a look at it, so here's a question that I want to ask you right now. Here's what I want you to do. When you're real about what it is that you've done, that you know contributed to a grade and a score that you're either proud of or not proud of, and I want you to put in the chat right now, are you proud of your score? Okay, yes or no? Are you proud of your score? Some people, I see some yeses, I see some nos. Okay, some people are proud, most are not. Okay, most are not. And there's no judgment here. We're not coming from a place of judgment to say, okay, well, you know what, let me beat up on myself. Here's another list of things that I didn't accomplish again. Let me add that to my long list of things. No, that's not what we're going to do. Okay. But what I want to do is this here. What I want you to do is, I want you to start asking yourself, what are some things that you could have done so that you could have actually scored better? Why? Because what this is all about is developing some simple habits. What we're talking about is being able to develop simple habits. Here's what takes place when you have habits. When you develop habits, okay, habits actually develop a particular routine. And when you have habits, you develop a routine, and a routine brings on a pattern. And a pattern brings on a brand new set of skills. It's the skills that are going to be required in order for you to get the result. The habitual effort of applying skills on a daily basis, that's what changes the number. That's what changes your results. Okay? And so now, what would you do differently? I want you to write this down. What would you do differently? This year, what are you going to do differently? Don't write what you think I want to hear. Don't write what you think somebody wants to hear in the chat. What would you do, or what are you going to commit to doing differently this year that you didn't do last year to make some adjustments? And you're going to start to understand, ladies and gentlemen, how simple this could actually be. How simple it can be. Here's what normally takes place. What normally takes place is life starts to get in the way. And when life gets in the way, what happens is we start to focus on what we call the scotomas. The scotomas are those little messages or those little squirrels that when we're so focused, this scotoma, it actually takes your attention and diverts your attention away from your daily goal. And when you're off on your daily goal, or what I call your tasks of the moment, you're going to be off on your daily goals. When you're off on your daily goals, you're going to be off on your weekly report. When your weekly report is off or you don't have one, you don't have a chance to have a month. This is why T. Gray has shared with you guys why we work the business in zones. And we'll get to that when we talk about business. What could you have done differently? Okay. And what are you going to do differently? Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to write down 2 things, just 2. Specifically, those of you who were not happy. For those of you who were happy, it doesn't matter. Because what I want you to do is this. What most people try to do is they try to make a quantum leap from here to there, from here to there, from A to Z, when they get frustrated. How many of you have ever been trading and blew a certain amount of money, and maybe you blew 50% of your account? And here's what you were in a trade for X number of days or hours or whatever it is, and 50% of your account blew. And here's what you try to do. You say, you know what? Because I failed at that trade, I'm now going to try to get all of that money back in the next trade. And what happens? You blow that. Why? Because your frame, how many of you ever heard your mom say your frame of mind, your frame, your belief system, the way you're looking at your goals, your objectives are not healthy. And so when you're coming off failure to say, I want to bounce from here to there, it's a quantum leap. What it is you're saying something to temporarily make you feel good about your body that you know no one can hold you accountable to. So you know, if you didn't do any cardio last year, don't say, you know what, I'm going to run 2 miles a day. That's a quantum leap. Okay? That's a quantum leap. You should start with, I'm going to park my car the furthest parking spot I can every time I go to any store. Start with that. Why? You don't have a choice but to walk a little bit more. If you just start with something simple like that, but don't say I'm going to get on my treadmill every day. You know you're not. You know that you're lying. You know that your frame of mind is not even set to exercising daily if you didn't do anything last year. So I want you to write down right now 2 things, just 2, that you're going to do differently this year to contribute to your body. Just write down 2 things, just 2. I'm writing down my 2 things right now. I'm putting them right in my phone of what I'm going to do. Okay. So what are your things? Now, you don't have to tell them to everyone else. How many of you put your goals down? How many of you put the 2 things down? You've written it somewhere that you know there's 2 things that you're going to do. Now, here's the starting process of making 2024 much better. Here's the starting process. Okay. With those 2 things, what I want you to do is I want you to measure your progress, and I want you to identify in this category of body. I want you to identify between 2 to 5 people that you can share your accountability with. I'm going to show you how to change your life. Most of you are waiting for these quantum leaps in your frame, your mindset. You're not even ready for quantum leap. You can't have quantum results without having a mindset that even is that's acceptable to the progression of accelerated growth. You're going to have to start off taking baby steps. So now, the question that you want to put down now is, who are the 5 people, 2 to 5 people, I want you to write it down right now, 2 to 5 people that you can actually be accountable to. And here's how you do that. You're going to write them a letter, a text message, or whatever that may be, and here's how this text message is going to go. Okay. Hey, Anna, this is HB. 2024 was a great year. We got through it, but it could have been a lot better. I actually need your help and support on achieving my goals in 2025, if that wouldn't be a problem. I look at you as someone that is honest and will help keep me accountable. And what I'd like to do is every day, I'd like to share with you that I completed my tasks. I'd like to include you in a group message with 3 other people. You don't ever have to respond, but I want to be accountable, and I need someone like you to know that I am actually on track. You also have permission that if you don't hear from me or see me make a message in the chat over a period of time, you've got permission to put question marks or make remarks or hold me accountable. But that's what I need from you, and I want to make sure that it's okay. And I'll put you in a group with these other people. And for the same reason, I'll be talking to these people to hold me accountable as well. Whether that's one other person, two other people, however many people, no more than 5. Okay. Watch what happens to your life. Now, you got to let them know, here's what my goals are. Here's what I'm going to do. You're going to tell them the 2 things that you committed to doing on a daily basis or weekly basis or monthly basis. Okay. Mostly on a daily. Okay. If you tell them, hey, listen, I committed that every time I drive my car, when I go to work, when I go to a shopping plaza, when I go to supermarket, grocery store, wherever it is that I go, I am going to make sure that I find the furthest parking spot that's the furthest away from the entrance. Or when I go to work, I will no longer take elevators. I'll only take stairs. Or it may be, hey, I'm going to go work out. Whatever it is that you wrote down, I'm just sharing with you some beginner steps for those of you who got 1s and 2s and 3s. Those of you who got 1s and 2s and 3s, it's because you just didn't even have a goal. That's all it is. It's not that you're not worthy. You just didn't even have a goal. So now, in my body category, those are the people. I've got my list of 2 to 5. Here's what my goals are going to be. Here is what I'm going to do on a daily basis, okay? Because we're going to break the goals down in order for you to have this year. The biggest reason that you don't accomplish it is because a year is too big for you. When I sit right now and I think of 2025 and all the stuff that HB is going to do in 2025, it's too much. It's overwhelming. It's huge. And so that's why I always refer to it as the impossible goal. It's the impossible goal. Why? It's too big. Many of you remember when I talked about setting my goal to make $1 million a month. I never focused on that. Why? It's too big. I couldn't fathom it. I didn't understand what it felt like to make $1 million even in 1 year. I had never even made $1 million in a year. How can I make $1 million a month? Walking around telling people, yeah, I'm gonna make $1 million a month. I'm $1 million. I couldn't see it. I could write it, I could speak it, I could start that process, I could start changing my frames, I could start working on me, but I couldn't see the $1 million a month. So what I had to do was reverse engineer it. Tigre showed you how I did it last week. I reverse engineered my goals and went from these huge goals, what the big goal is, I never spoke about it to the public. What I did is I looked at, okay, in order for me to accomplish this, what must I do per month? In order for me to get my month, what must I do per week? In order for me to have this week, what must I do per day? What is it? Yeah? What is it? That's how you go about this. That's what it is. Okay. And so when you take a look at it, this is going to be very simple. There's 4 areas. 4 areas. Let me write this down here. 4 areas. Is this on or not? Yes. It's on? Okay, here we go. Okay. So, in body, 4 areas. Now, there's going to be, you put your score here, wherever your score is. Okay. And my score was, I give myself a 6. Okay. I'll give myself a 6. All right. In terms of where I was last year, I could have done a lot better. All right. I could have done a lot better. Why? Because right now I have a 2.5 pack. Okay. I got a 2.5 pack. All right. And a 2.5 pack that's not beach worthy. Okay. I didn't have a Mark Cathcartish year. All right. All right. So I got a 2.5 pack. So I give myself a 6. I'm working on it, T. Gray. Yeah, it's 2.5. Yeah, I got a 2.5 pack. These two up here, I can see them. Yeah, but then I got a quarter of one here and a quarter of one here, so that's 2.5. That's 2.5, bro. I'm being transparent, right? All right, I'm gonna stand up and show you guys. All right, 2.5 pack. All right, now. 2 and a hot dog. All right, I listen. I want how many of you guys? I don't know if it was you, but how many of you guys when mom cooked fried chicken and some rice and peas, and then she'd go and she'd have she'd go to she'd also bring the rolls. How many of you remember the rolls, the bread and the rolls? Tigger, you know what I'm talking about? Right, the hot rolls that she put them in the oven. That was an 8-pack. That's what I want. I want to have those rolls. That's what I want. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want. That's what I'm looking for, right? It reminds me of Mark Cathcart, right? And guess what? Those rolls are the same color as Mark Cathcart's 8-pack, right? I think that's where they get them from. They saw Mark at birth. Mark was born with his 8-pack, all right? Now, but let's get back, guys. T. Gray always likes to bring some comedy here, but this is serious business here, all right? So I score myself a 6, all right? Now, I'm going to list down what do I want to accomplish this year? If I'm a 6 this year, can I become a 10 this year? Yeah, I can. Is it likely? I don't know. What's your frame like? What's your mindset like? The emotion on this call right now, it's real easy to say I'm going to do a 10. Why? Your heroes are here. The energy. See, that you think, guys, why do you think we're asking you to put things in the chat? You think we're asking you to put things in the chat so you don't fall asleep? No. If you know anything about me now, you know I believe in energy. Thoughts are things. Energy. Every time you stroke your keypad, you're sending energy out into the universe. And so when we're sitting here as a collective group and you start putting the fire emojis, fire is energy. This is why I'm asking for fire. What's your frame? Some of you say fire. Well, fire admits that something is burning. Yeah, desire. It's energy. Fire emojis. That's why I asked for it. Because what happens is most of you you're not even aware. Every time you see fire emojis, your body, and I'm not going to get into this, but your psychology, there's an energy that goes out. And what happens is it gives you confidence. It gives you more courage. This is why you feel a certain way when you're on flight school. And you're wondering, why is it that when I'm on flight school, there's something about how I feel. Some of you haven't prospected a person in 5 years, but you're faithfully here every single week. Why? Because you're addicted to the feeling that you get on flight school. And you had no idea. You ever walked into a place and you'd never been there before, but you walked into a place and you're like, this just doesn't feel, something's not right here. The energy's not good. You ever see people who, and I used to think a long time ago that these people were a little different, people who practice feng shui. That's real. It's the study of energy and energy patterns, and does it work? And are things appropriately and properly placed? Because energy fields start to collide and intersect, and things must actually work together. And then you ever walk into a place and it just feels right. You don't even want to leave. That's energy. That's a certain energy. Casinos are masters at it. Casinos are masters at putting certain type of energies in the room that you have no idea, but they understand human psychology and physiology so much And this is why people who go to a casino, they can be there for 8 hours and it feels like 2. Because they create something that your body is in such a relaxed state that doesn't want to move. Anxiety is gone and they create this type of environment. So this is why we always ask you for energy in the chat. It's not for me, it is for everybody else who's here. So now my score is a 6. I am saying, HB, you know what? 2025, you're gonna be 2025, let's do 8. This is me. Okay? This is me. You say, HB, you're not gonna shoot for a 10? No. Why not? Because I'm not ready. I'm looking at what I did the last 2 weeks. If I was going to be a 10 this year, my 2 weeks prior, okay, my 2 weeks prior, that if I'm looking for a 10, you know what that means? HB's not going to smoke 1 cigar this year. That ain't happening. I'm going to be real with myself. Okay? If I'm going to be a 10 this year, that means HB's not going to have 1 glass of wine. I'm having a dry January. All right? Dry January for HB. I'm starting off saying I'm going to be better this month than I was last month. No cocktails, only mocktails. Okay? No cocktails, no wine. This is me. I've already started. Every single day, I'm going to do something that is from a physical fitness standpoint that has to span a minimum of 15 minutes worth of output. At least 15 minutes. Now, do I do more than 15 minutes? Yeah, the other day I went to the gym. I was there for 2 hours. Okay? I was there for 2 hours. But 15 minutes a day, I can commit to that. Am I going to commit 2 hours every day? No. So if I'm not willing to cut back on cigars, Anna even texts me, hey, when you come back from Miami, bring your cigar. She knows. We're going to sit here on Friday. We're going to sit here on Friday, whatever it is. And hopefully Mark hadn't committed to be a 10.5. That means he'll partake in a cigar every now and then. T. Gray, what are you going to, where are you this year? T. Gray's in dry January with me, and he's going for an 8 as well. Now, T. Gray has made a lot of progress from 2023 into 2024. I don't know what you rated yourself in 2023, but I saw his 2024 and it inspired me. This is why you got to hang out with people who inspire you. How many of you hanging out with people who want to take you to the same all-you-can-eat restaurant every Friday? That's where you're going to hang out with. Friday, we're going to the all-you-can-eat buffet. You got to stop hanging with those people. You can love them from a distance. Love them on the other side of the buffet. Okay? Stop hanging out with them. You say, well, HB, are you judging them? Yeah. Yes, I'm judging them. That's what they want to do. In the book, what does it say? You shall know them by their fruit. The Bible says judgment is okay. Prejudgment is not. For those of you who study and, have your biblical references. You should know them by their fruit. That means that what are they producing? If every single year their production is more and more, and they get more excited about, the $9.99 buffet, you might not want to hang around them this year. No, unless it's going to be at the gym. So T. Gray's going for an 8. All right, George, what you going for, George, this year?
I'm going for 9.
George is going for a 9 this year. Anna, what you doing this year? Nope, I need an answer. I need an answer. All right, Anna says she's going for a 7. Mark, can you be less perfect this year to give us a chance? Mark says he's going to drop back a 0.5 point so some of us can feel hope. All right. All right. So now the next thing is this. Write down your list of people. Okay. Who's your list of people? You're going to have to be accountable. Who's your list of people? At least 2, up to 5, but at least 2. Okay. So I'll build my list 2 to 5. Okay. And then your daily activities that you say you're going to do on a daily basis, whatever it is that you say that you're going to accomplish on a weekly basis. Okay. And make sure on a daily basis or a weekly basis, you get permission from them to message them in that group. And you can make the group anonymous. You can do a Telegram group where it's anonymous. They're a part of it, or text message group, however it is that they're going to receive the messages, and let them know, hey, listen, and only message them 1 time a day. When the day is over, or when you have completed the task, you can say daily task completed. If you don't complete the daily task, then you don't text them. They're going to see that you didn't. Or you text them at the end of the night, I fell off the bandwagon. Watch how, guys, it doesn't take miracles to change your life. It takes effort. It takes habits. This is what I'm telling you. You develop a habit of accountability. A habit will create a pattern. A pattern will create a new skill. And it's the skill that you have that determines your results, how you apply the skill. All right. And so now you look at what you've done from a body standpoint. Now you can look at, okay, weekly, this is what it's going to look like. And here's what happens. At the end of this week, by next flight school, what I want you to do is I want you to go back and grade yourself. Grade yourself. Those of you who ended up with a 3, your week has to be an 8 or 9 or 10. You can have a daily 10. It just means that I did everything that I said I was going to do. What if you had a day that was a 10? If you said, you know what I'm going to do? Here's what I'm going to do. Some of you, let me share with you how to have smaller goals. You want to lose weight, but you know for a fact that you're not disciplined. You know that your frame right now, you're still working on your frame. Eat from a smaller plate. Maybe right now you got 10-inch plates at home, okay? Go and get a 8-inch plate or 6-inch plate. You'd be amazed at how your brain looks at proportions. Your brain does not like food, maybe it does, but your brain does not like food hanging off the ends of plates because it makes you feel guilty. So if you get a smaller plate, a 6-inch plate, maybe you start eating your dinner from a dessert plate or salad plate. Watch, I'm telling you, watch what happens. It's just small things like that that make a difference. You know, you're like, man, I'm not going to work out. I'm too lazy to take the stairs. Nope, I'm going to park as close as I can. I'm even going to take the handicap, and I'm not handicapped because I'm just, if that's you, eat from a smaller plate. Now, let's go over to the next category. Let's go over to being. What do I mean by being? I think it's important that you have a goal in these particular 4 areas. All right, these particular 4 areas. These 4 areas are areas that you can actually influence and you can actually control. The being is what is your connectivity with your sense of consciousness? Now, when I say consciousness, I say that with respect to anybody's preferences when it comes to religious beliefs. This means to your spirituality. How do you get connected? In some form or fashion. My goal is not for you to believe how I believe or what I believe. My goal is for you to challenge your own beliefs so that you understand what level of connectivity and what's your purpose here on this earth. None of this stuff really makes any sense if you don't understand why you're here. Do you know the majority of you on this call here, the majority of us on this Zoom, is that we're walking through life without a purpose. We have no idea why we were here. How many of you know what was the purpose of cameras? Any of you know what the purpose of a camera is? Put it in the chat if you know. George, scroll down so I can see. What's the purpose of a camera? capture moments. Okay. To take pictures. Keep it simple. So you guys are trying to be all philosophical. It's simple. The purpose of a camera is to take pictures. When you go to a camera store, what do you go camera store? Actually, ladies, you should be lighting this thing up right now. What's the purpose of an iPhone or a Samsung? To take pictures, right? It's a camera that allows you to connect with other people and tell them about the photos that you just took, right? That's the only purpose for a Samsung. What's the purpose of a coffee mug? Don't get philosophical. The purpose of a coffee mug is to do what? Hold your coffee while you drink your coffee. What's the purpose of a car? Transportation, to get you from point A to point B. Everything in your life that you've ever purchased, you knew the purpose of it. But if I ask you, and if somebody caught you off guard and asked you, what's the purpose of you? Why are you here? What's your purpose? You know, we'd have to sit, and what we do is just like we did just a moment ago. We come up with all this philosophical bullshit that sounds good, but we really don't even understand what our purpose is here for. Has somebody told you what your purpose is? Have you allowed your purpose to be what somebody told you? Is your purpose what your mom told you your purpose is? Is your purpose what your dad told you? Your purpose what your pastors told you, your professors told you, your buddies? Have you gone introspectively and have you done the work to figure out, why am I here? What is my purpose? If you don't understand your purpose, that means you can't be a utility. That means you can't even be used. You can't apply yourself to anything because you don't even understand what your purpose is. And so when it comes to being, what I'm talking about is, I'm talking about from a higher level. I'm talking about your particular purpose, not your goal. Your goal and your purpose are two different things. Your goal may be to be a diamond. Your goal may be to be whatever, but I'm talking about your purpose. What is it? How do you connect with it? How do you keep it in check? How do you measure whether you're on track with your purpose? I think that's important. How many of you, how many of you believe that's important? I'm not talking about sitting up in some building called church every Sunday. That's not your purpose. I'm not talking about, doing, what my mom does. Right now, she's sitting right now watching TVN, Trinity Broadcast Network. That's not your purpose. You might be watching somebody else live out their purpose, but that's not your purpose. That's not spirituality because, I go to church and I listen to this, or I do this, and I go to the temple, or I go here. That's not your purpose. I'm talking about your particular purpose. Find it out. Because here's what I can tell you. If you start understanding category 2, the other 3 areas become much more clear. You'll understand why you've been lacking and slacking in body. When you don't understand your purpose, none of this means anything when you don't understand it. So let's talk about your being. How is it that you can get connected? You know how I start getting connected? I ask myself a couple of questions. What is this whole thing about? I never forget when I started asking myself these questions. It's about 12 years ago. We have this thing called life that we all take for granted. That we wake up every morning and act as if every day we're entitled to. We act as if all the experiences that we had are owed to us. We act as if tomorrow's always going to be here. And every day that you get something that you don't have to work for, you take it for granted. If money was in your account coming to you every single day, an endless amount of money, or every single day, you think that you're entitled to money. You feel like you don't have to work for it. Most of you would feel like you don't even have to figure it out. Why do you think the people who win the lottery, over 75% of those people go broke? Hundreds of millions of dollars. Because they feel entitled to the money and they never did anything to earn it. And when you don't do anything to earn it, you lose it. When you don't do anything to earn it, you lose it. Benjamin Franklin said, the majority of men die at the age of 25. Sadly, they're not buried until they're 65. Most of us die at 25. And the reason being is because we have not figured out column 2 yet. Why? Because most of you believe you're going to go to bed tonight and you're going to wake up. How do I know that? Because you've set goals. How many of you said, here's what I'm going to do tomorrow? Hey, I'll call you tomorrow. You're taking it for granted. I know you may say, HB, you're getting a little deep here, but no, it's not about depth, but sometimes we should. We live these lives that are so surface. We live these fantasies that we have on social media because, the world now has projected us to be able to live in these microcosms where we're able to see all of the fake that people have created. And so we very seldom anybody ever holds you accountable to what's real and what's true. And I'm not here saying that tomorrow won't come for you, but what I'm saying is you've been programmed to take it for granted. This is why you set goals, and this is why you say, I'll do this tomorrow. This is why you schedule things. If you didn't have a belief that tomorrow will come, how many of you would set a goal? If you sat there with your doctor and your doctor said, listen, I just want to let you know that, you got 24 hours. How many of you are going to make plans for next year? You won't. But if you had that call with your doctor and that talk, see, right now would be so important. You try to figure out whatever you could figure out about this life in less than 24 hours. And what I'm saying is, before you go into next year with the same BS that you had, figure out why you're here. I asked myself, what is all of this about? This matrix that we're in, this world that we're in, and why? Why was I put here to participate? Was I put here to help advance it? Was I put here to disrupt it? Was I put here to make the contribution to it? Was I put here as a test? Was I put here as, but I start asking myself those questions. And when I start asking those questions, remember I told you that the quality of your life is going to be in direct proportion to the quality of questions that you ask yourself. And what happens is an endless number of quality questions continue to come. And every day I question myself. And every day I'm getting closer and closer, and I understand a lot more today than I did 12 years ago. Because had I continued down the path of like I was 12 years ago, thinking that my purpose was to be rich, thinking just that my purpose was to sell this product or sell that product, I would have missed the boat. And this is why the majority of people don't have this little small thing that so many of us covet called happiness. Yeah, we get on and we take photos and we smile. Remember, we practice our smile for the camera. And then we shut our smile off after we post it. But the majority of people are living lives of quiet desperation. And it's not because of the lack of finances. It's not because you're not in shape. It's because you have no idea, you're not connected to any particular purpose. Identify what your purpose is. And here's my question. How did you hold yourself accountable for that? What steps are you going to take this year of understanding what your purpose is? What steps? Okay. Of understanding and being able to identify what's my purpose. Okay. If you want to identify your purpose, I'll give you a little formula. Number one, you have to ask yourself, what is it that I'm passionate about? Do I have passion? Okay. Do I have passion? Okay. Something that naturally it comes to me. It you know, and I'm able to do it, and I want to do it. Nobody else has to inspire me. You can start figuring out some of what your design purpose is. Do I have passion about it? Number two, am I proficient in it? Am I good at it? Or I just like to do it, but I'm not really good at it. See, if you like to do it and you're not really good at it, I'm not going to say it's your passion or your purpose. Number one, do I have passion? Number two, am I proficient? Okay. Am I proficient? Number three, is it profitable? Am I good enough at it that people will want to exchange something that they value to have a piece of what it is that I'm proficient in? Okay. If you're not proficient, that means you're not good enough. It probably won't be profitable. But if I can be profitable with it, doesn't mean that my goal has to become rich. Can I be profitable? Am I good enough that I can actually make a profit with this? And if you are, okay, that'll lead you to understanding your purpose. It gives you a general area of where you should actually be performing and putting the majority of your time in your life. And maybe you're not profitable now, but can you practice enough? Is it something that I can practice to become proficient? If I can become proficient, I can become profitable. If I can become profitable, I could identify my purpose. Okay? But start asking yourself some questions. The second part in being is, what resources are you going to use to start understanding a little bit more about your connection, your spiritual connection to this world here, this universe that we live in? This is important here. What resources? Okay. And how can you be accountable? This is not something daily that you need to call someone about and say, hey, listen, I did this right here spiritually today. But have some accountability partners, whereas on a monthly basis or a weekly basis, you can have some level of connectivity in some form or fashion, whereas you can exchange and share ideas and explore and stop the process of judgment. What do I mean by that? Stop the process of judging what somebody else considers to be spiritual, and be open to at least learning how all of these belief systems, why do they even exist? Why do they even exist? And I used to have this belief system that who I believed in at that time, that if a person didn't believe in that person, that they were doomed to hell. That's what I was. And then I thought about it. Wow, some people don't even have an opportunity to know who I believed in. They're born in a region in the world that nobody practices it. They already have pre-designed belief systems that are there that are going to be taught. And I said, these people are going to be condemned to, a damnation because they never figured out what I was believing in at that time and how I believed. And then I started asking, does that? And so I started asking myself questions. And I had to realize, you know what, maybe there's something much bigger that I need to explore. And I started doing that. And I became more comfortable. That's when I became free. Your being allows you to become free. What resources? Who are you connected with? How are you going to measure? Who are you going to be accountable to within that realm as well? Now let's go to the third B, balance. Let's go to the third B, balance. Okay. When it comes to balance, here's what I'm talking about. I call it balance, but it's really not balance. And when I say balance, balance does not mean equality. Most of us think, well, if I've got 8 hours in a day of free time, then I should give 2 hours to family, 2 hours to this, 2 hours to that, and 2 hours to that, so that they all have equal time. It's not true. What you need is you need to make sure within balance that you give equity. Equity. What do I mean by equity? I'm talking primarily in the balance category of family. Okay. Some of you have a husband, wife. Some of you have, a significant other, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever that may be. Some of you have children. Some of you have a few. Some of you have a lot. Some of you have none. Well, what if you had 8 children? Does that mean you've got to give an hour to your kids, to each kid every day? No. Why not? How many of you know some of your kids don't require an hour? How many of you know that? How many of you who have multiple kids recognize that each one of your kids are different, and some of your kids, all they need is a hug from you today? How many of you know that maybe some of your other kids, you need 15 minutes of conversation to talk about your day with that kid? How many of you know that some of your kids, they need to move out and y'all need to talk, by text message once a week, because that's how they connect. They're all different. They're all different. And when you start understanding that, so the kid who needs text messages from me and maybe a weekly conversation, but text messages daily, I'm giving equity. Why? That's what they need. The kid who only needs a hug, if I come in and give that kid a hug and go interrupt their day and say, hey, listen, you know what? I'm going to give each one of my kids an hour a day, and this is your hour. You're going to ruin the relationship. It's no different than having plants in your house. If you've got different plants in your house, each plant is going to require something different. How many of you know some of your plants, if you bring them inside the house, they're going to die? Why? Some plants are designed to be outside. And the inside plants, if you took them outside, they'll die from the heat. Some of them, if you put this much water in them, you'll kill them. Some of them, if you put this much water in it, you'll starve them. So it means that how have you looked at your family, your relationships? I'm talking non-business. I'm talking about the people who mean things to you, not your business family. That's your family only while you're doing business. I'm talking about your family. I'm talking about the people you really care about because of them, not because of any other attachment. And what you do is that you decide this is what they need. My wife, you know what she needs? I recognize, most people think, man, HB, with all that you do, how do you balance the time and give EB all of this time? I don't. I give her the equity. I give her what she needs. And if I can have a meaningful conversation with her without my phone, take my phone away, if I can give her 20 minutes every other day, she's good. 20 minutes every other day, she's all right. That's what she needs. Okay? My son, depending on what phase of his life he's in, each conversation is going to be 30 minutes. The phase of life that he's in right now, he's in a production phase. He's in a new phase of his life right now. He needs daddy more now than he did a year ago. So what do I have to do? I've got to align and assign a certain amount of time to him. I give him more quality time of non-interruption time than I'm giving my wife right now. Some of you would say, well, why are you doing that? She deserves more. She's your wife. She doesn't need more. She doesn't require more. Why am I going to overwater the plant that only needs a cup? Why am I going to give it a gallon? I'm going to waste the water. 20 minutes is what she needs. It doesn't mean that I got a time clock and I'm sitting there, 20 minutes is up. But if I give her at least 20 minutes, she's happy. We were talking the other day and I was saying, hey, honey, why don't you do this? She says, I'm happy. I'm trying to get her to do this. No, I'm happy with what I'm doing. And you got to understand, that's how you create balance. It is the proper distribution of equity to the things and the people that are important in your life. So how are you going to do that? Make a list right now. Make a list right now of the people that require equity. If you were starting a corporation and you were going, and you had investors, or you're looking for investors, first of all, you take a look at, okay, how much money are you going to contribute to the company? How many shares are you going to make available for someone else to invest? Let's say you brought on 12 different shareholders and they all invested different amounts of money. When profits roll in, and what's the profits in your life? Your time. Your time. When profits roll in, are you going to give each shareholder the same check? I don't think so. You're going to give them a check in direct proportion to their investment, because that's what's required. Here's a guy, he invested 5%. Tom Brady just purchased a portion of the Las Vegas Raiders. Do you think he gets the same income as the Davis family? No. Why? He doesn't have that much equity. He's maybe got 3 or 4% equity, from what I understand. 3 to 4%. So if $1 billion of profits come in, he's not getting an equal share. He's getting that 3 to 4%, or whatever people who get 4%, whatever the agreement is, people below this threshold at this percentage, this is how we're going to split the pie. And he's going to be happy with that. Is he going to be upset because somebody got a bigger check? No. Why? They deserved a bigger check. So make a list. Who's going to get the equity? Wife, husband, dad, mom, son, daughter, 3 sons, 2 daughters, your animals, your pets. They want some of the profits. The profits is your attention. Attention. Okay? This is why we say you pay attention. You pay with your attention when it comes to balance. Give my wife a little time, I'm going to pay attention to her. I'm giving her her equity. My son, Dad, I need you real quick. How do I figure this out? I already know that's a 25 to 40-minute conversation. 3 times a day. And I'm like, I had to have a conversation. Son, listen, I'm your dad. Okay? And just because I'm your dad, I don't owe you all of my time. You're going to have to learn how to get your equity or get your results with the equity that's assigned to you. I'm very busy. I'm not going to drop a call because I see you calling me. So make your messages short. Figure out how to say it in 2 minutes versus 20 minutes, so you can get more value from the equity that I'm going to give to you. Why? Because I've got a lot to go around. The bigger your life, the more valuable your time is. If right now you don't value your time, it's because you probably have a small life. That's not a judgment saying that you have a poor or bad life. It's just that there's not a lot required from you. When you step out and you understand the column of being and understand your purpose, your life immediately gets a little bit bigger. Why? You know there's some reasons for you here, so you've got to make sure that you actually supply those reasons. Today, I knew my company needs my time. They need my time today. Earlier today, I had another meeting earlier this morning. I have this one. What? My time is needed here. At 12 o'clock, I've got another webinar that I'm doing at 12 o'clock. Later on this evening, I've got another. Why? My time. I only have so much of it. I can only pay so much time, so much attention. So I've got to dissect and say, I can give X number of time to this. Because the way you treat your time is the way you'll treat your money. If you had an overabundance of money and you didn't value it, you'll give it away. This is why the people who win the lottery go broke. They don't value time and they don't value money. They've never had to earn it. The reason why I'm efficient with certain things when it comes to my time is because I know a lot is required of me. And if a lot's required of me, I've got to know how to budget it. and give equity. So don't try to give equality, give equity. So make the list. Who deserves some? Make a list of how much do they need. Identify what is it that they need. Watch how your life becomes better. Guys, right? Just this simple concept that I'm going over right now, it could actually transform your entire relationships. It could actually make all the pieces in your life just come together just like that. Just like that. Because now every single day, now when it comes to balance, who needs a text message a day? Are you going to send your wife a nice text message with a nice emoji daily? Why? Because this year you're going to be better. Why? What do you grade yourself? How do you grade yourself last year? 2024. Did you screw it up when it comes to balance? Did you mess it up? Were you a 5? Were you a 4? Were you a 3? Were you a 2? Were you a 7? Were you an 8? What are you going to be this year? What are you going to be this year? Some of you are living with the person who's starving for 10 minutes, and you'll give them 3 hours. 3 hours of you on your phone and them on their phone, and you're sitting right next to each other, and you won't share 15 minutes of uninterrupted time because of your addiction to dopamine. Your addiction. You're paying attention. Attention is the new currency. I want you to understand that. You've been taught ever since you were a kid, Holton, pay attention. Pay attention. Hey, give your attention. I want you to imagine if 5 billion people said, I am going to reduce I'm going to reduce 1 hour a day and remove it from social media. Do you know the world's economy would shift? Why? Because 5 billion people per day times 1 hour, that's 5 billion hours, 5 billion man hours that are not getting paid. Have you ever thought about it like that? What is your attention worth? If you and everybody else were not watching, that means that there's no advertisers. If there's no there's no views. If there's no views, there's no advertise. If there's no advertise, nobody's getting paid any money. They are paying for your eyeballs, your attention. And if you're willing to give it to Microsoft or Meta, if you're willing to give it to Facebook, if you're willing to give it to Instagram, if you're willing to give it to X, if you're willing to give it to TikTok, why don't you give it to your family? Give it to those who are around you. Prioritize theirs. They don't need as much. You're going to pay all of these other social media companies more than you're going to pay your family. Trust me, I already know it. It's set up that way. That's the way the world is. You can stop it if you want to, but there's a design around our time that pushes us into those particular areas. So what's your score going to be this year? Write down what your score is going to be this year. When it comes to balance, I'd give myself an 8. And this year I can be a 9. Do I know who I owe equity to? Yes. Do I know what they want? Yes. That's why I gave myself 8. I at least know. I know what they need. I know what they want. And it's up to me to teach them how to get it from me. I'll teach. I taught my son, listen, you want more of my time? Here's how you get it. You want to get better results? Here's what you do to get my time. Teach them. If they don't teach them first. Allot the time to them first. Understand what it is that they need. Well, what does this have to do with me selling more CEO packs? Everything. Because see, if you can't get these 3 areas together, what does it matter about getting the business column together? Does that even matter? If you identify with me, guys, put some fire in the chat. If this makes sense, if what I'm saying right now makes sense to you, give me some fire in the chat. I just want to make sure that we're on the same page. Because sometimes when it comes to goal setting, you've been doing the same stuff that doesn't work. I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, okay, write down the Mercedes Benz that you say you want. Write down that you want to move into the new house. You're going to quit smoking for the 50th time. You're going to lose weight that you're going to gain right back. Okay. You're going to go to church 3 times a week. All right. All the same dumb stuff that you've been saying. It's time for somebody to take you, shake you up, and say, hey, approach this differently. Do this in a different way. What you've been doing does not work. And at the end of the year, guess what you do? You blame all the circumstances around you for why you didn't achieve your goals. You blame all these circumstances. I'm telling you right now how to have your 2025. How to have a better 2025. Make that commitment. At the end of the week, here's what I want you to do. Every single day, what I want you to do, remember, you're going to have your daily grind. Your daily grind is the activities that you're going to do on a daily basis that contribute to the week. You don't know what the week is going to be like until you finish each day. What are you going to do? Do you need who in the family deserves the text message? Right now, here's what I want you to do. For those of you, I'm going to show you how to start your week off. Here's what I want you to do. Somebody in your family that's on this list right now, okay? Somebody who's on this list that's not with you watching this Zoom right now. This is how you start it. Let me show you how simple it is. Take out your phone right now. Take out your phone. And what I want you to do is I want you to send them a message. Here's the message, something like this. Okay. I'm having an incredible experience on a Zoom right now. And I was thinking of you. You are a part of my plans for 2024. Boom. That's it. If it's your wife, if it's your husband, if it's your boyfriend, girlfriend, just send it to them. And if you're into emojis, send them a love emoji, send them a heart emoji, send them whatever, a dollar sign emoji, whatever and stop being afraid of showing your feelings. Stop being afraid of letting someone know that they matter. I'm showing you right now, it's real simple. I'm sending EB a message. I'm on flight school now, and I am so excited to date you on a different level in 2025. I love you. And I'm going to put my heart emoji in there. Just sent it. Now, watch the difference that it makes. See, what I just did is I paid her what? Attention. I just distributed some equity there. So now if I go home, and when I do go home, if I did want to watch my football program today, there's not going to be any, well, he's He's watching sports again. She just got paid. I paid her distribution. I want you to imagine, this is how it works, guys. I want you to imagine the people in your circle and the people in your corner, and those of you, you know the difference. The people in your circle and the people in your corner, it's like you are the banker, okay? You're the banker, and everyone is standing there. It's almost like a game of Monopoly. You're the banker in a game of Monopoly, and everybody who's around you, they're waiting for you to make distributions. Your job, as when you understand who you are in the being category, every one of you, you're in the same seat. You're the CEO of your life. Somebody is counting on you. If you don't have anybody counting on you, put yourself in a position where other people are counting on you. It's amazing how it moves you forward. It's amazing how you become accountable. It's amazing how your productivity becomes much bigger, much greater. It's amazing how much your needs and your desires grow. It's amazing how much how much more action you have. They're sitting there, standing around saying, they got their hand out. It's like they're waiting for their distribution of a portion of you. I can piece this together and give them little portions every single day. I've hit my task for the day, my daily task. Send my wife, let her know that she counts every day. How long did that take? But some of you are sitting there right now in the argument that you had on New Year's Eve about which colors to make. And that's why you didn't even go out. You canceled your plans. Your dinner was poor. You sat there, you were on your phone, and she was on her phone. And all you did was you surfed the internet while two people sitting at a restaurant paying attention to the world and won't pay attention to each other. How many of you see it? I see it all day long. We went out to Mr. Child's for New Year's Eve, and there was a couple sitting right next to our left. They didn't say two. The guy said more words to Erlene about her and how she looked and whatever it was. And now I'll say that because this man wasn't coming on. It was a guy and a guy relationship, okay? And that's their business. It's not a big deal. But anyway, he and Erlene connected, and girl, you're looking so good in that bag and blah, blah, blah. But he never talked to the person that he's bringing in the new year with. I never saw them say two words. Here's what I did see. The entire time. And some of that's you. How many of you guilty? Put something in the chat if you're guilty. Just be honest. That's me. See, if you get rid of that, you can move from a 3. You can move from a 3 to a 7. Okay. How many of you have sent your message? Put a fire emoji if you've sent your message. If you've sent your message, how do you think that person is going to feel when they receive that message? You're not doing it for the response. You're doing it because you're paying. You have a plan every day, some sort of message that you're going to send. Now, the rest of the day is what you've got to figure out is who else is on that list. And what do you need to do? What do you need to do with them daily? Everybody's not going to be daily, but who's in your daily column? Got to pay attention to them. If you were at the casino and you were playing, cards, or if you're at my house and you're playing spades and they're dealing the cards, if you didn't get dealt your card, you pitch a fit. Why? Everybody's looking for their portion. Pay them. You're the CEO. It's your job to pay it out. Pay it out. Pay it out. And guess what? The more you pay out, the more the universe is going to say, you deserve more. You deserve more quality of time. Not quantity. We can't give you more quantity, but you deserve more experience with the time that you have that's at a higher level. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some other people around you in your life because you are a great steward of paying attention. Your attention matters. I'm going to put some other important people around you. Why? Because I know that you'll make the distributions in an equitable fashion. And what happens is the universe will start rewarding you and allowing you to become more responsible. The more responsible you are, the higher you start to ascend in life. Why? Because these other things that you've gotten together are important. And you'll start to understand when you have these things important and in line, business becomes easy. Business becomes easy. Make the list, make your distributions every day. At the end of the day, check your list off. Did I give my equity out today? Here's the thing I want you to understand about equity. Equity is not like binary volume. There is no carryover. It flushes. Every day that you don't use it, it flushes. Every single day, it flushes. Wouldn't it be cool that if we wasted 10 hours of our day today and we slept through it, that we can say tomorrow I have 34 hours of time versus 24? Doesn't work that way. Your equity is important. Distribute it properly. Now let's go to the business category. Business. I'm not going to give you a plan. T. Gray spent 2.5 hours last week. T. Gray, how long was that called? 2.5 hours? 2.5 hours last week laying out the game plan. Laying out the game plan. Some of you, what you're doing is you're waiting for answers that you already possess. All I can tell you is this. In your business, what do you rate yourself last year? In terms of what you did. What do you give yourself in business? Okay. I give myself about a 7. About a 7. The lower end of a 7, not the higher end, the lower end of a 7, the beginning 7. What do they call it? 7 minus, A minus, B pluses, right? That's what I give myself, right? About a 7. Okay. And what could I, where can I be this year? 8. Are you going to be a 9? Nope, I'm not. Now, some of you are rating yourself based off how much money you made. Wrong. Wrong. It's not about your money. It's not about your money. It's about what things that you set out to do, and did you start to execute your plan? Rate yourself on your plan. Your money is the rating for the execution of your plan. Don't look at the money right now. The money's going to let you know what you're doing over a period of time. Okay. But T. Gray laid a plan out. Let me ask you a question. How many of you have already started all the things that he told you to do in terms of how to game plan? How many of you right now, and be honest, are you on track with at least your part? We're 1 week in. Remember, we say we'll look at our daily tasks, and then we'll look at our the weekly progress, daily tasks, weekly progress. How many of you are on track? You've had 1 week since you've gotten that. How many of you can say that every day of what you plan to do between last week and this week here, you've done it? If you're not, remember I gave you the mental eraser? You got a fresh, brand new sheet of paper. Brand new sheet of paper. Okay. So here's what you do. Okay. What things are you going to do differently this week than you did last week? That's what we're going to talk about now for business. Because your whole plan was laid out for you last week. If you don't know, go back and look at last week's. If you missed it, go back and look at last week's flight school. Okay, go back and find last week's flight school. What are you going to do differently this week than you did last week? Okay, what's going to be different for you? Who are you going to be accountable to this week? Make a list of 2 to 5 people that you can be accountable to for your daily task in business. Prospecting, if you say, hey, prospecting is an area that I'm going to improve on, and every week I'm going to add another 20 new people to my list. How am I going to do that? Every day I'm going to at least prospect anywhere between 2 to 4 people, 2 to 5 people daily. Okay, how are you going to do it? So that's your daily grind. And you're going to have your weekly progress. If you do your daily grind and you measure your weekly progress, what do you think will start happening to your months? Your months are going to be a reflection of your accountability, because your daily accountability, because of the new habits. You have a habit now of doing the thing. Do the thing, you will have the power. Daily habit, okay? New pattern, develop skill. That skill set, the more proficient you become at that skill set, makes you more profitable. This is real simple. You know which areas in the business you're strong. You know which areas in the business you're weak. Some of you have a great habit of showing up on flight school on time every week. That's a good thing. Some of you have a habit of keeping your business a secret. That doesn't work for you. This is not the Secret Service Society here. This is a public corporation. You've got to make your business, you got to go public. This is not a privately held corporation. You will not grow if you keep it private. Make it public. So what do? Let's do this right now. Okay? Here's what I want you to do. I want you to think of right now. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to think of 5. I want you to write down the name of 5 people right now that does not know about your business, but they should, and you will contact them right now. Let's just take a 1-minute break. Tigger, you got some music you can play for 1 minute? Even from your phone and the microphone. I don't care. Let's take a 90-second break. George, you got some music? When the music starts, guys, we're going to take 90 seconds. Some of you already, because of your frame, have already said, oh, this is, some of you are not even going to participate because you're addicted to doing the exact same thing. Let me know when the music starts, T. Gray. 90 seconds, guys. Who knows about it? Who doesn't know about your business? 90 seconds. That person that you work with. My mic still live? That person that you see, they're sharp and in common eye contact all the time. They have no idea that you've got amazing business that can actually solve some of their issues. That person who drops their kids off when you drop your kids off. That lady, that guy at the dog park who always has the annoying dogs. At least found out his name. Shook hands. Ask him. Don't ask people, what do you do for a living? Ask them, what do you have exciting that you're working on? And then let them tell you. They'll ask you, and they'll ask you the same. Stop asking people, what do you do? Ask them, what do you do for work? It's so, what you're asking, here's what they hear. Money do you make? That's what you want to know. How much money I make? You don't care. You've just been taught that. You're in the same matrix routine because you've been taught to do the same stupid things as well. What's happening great in your life right now? Instead of, how are you? What's happening great in your life? There's one thing you can change about your life to make it more amazing than it was last year. What would it be? Watch the type of feedback people give you. Stand out, become different. I'm that difference maker. Who's that person at the gym that are always looking at you while you're on your Zooms and they're seeing you engaged? But have you ever gone over there and said, hey, listen, nice to meet you. I've seen you at the gym. I wanted the music going while I was talking. Yeah. Who is it? And so what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, is stop trying to make quantum leaps when you won't even take the first step. Why do I think that you'll sign up to run a marathon when you won't even take the stairs? Just 5 people. Write it down. When was the last time have you thought of 5 people? 5. And don't try to sponsor them. I don't try to sponsor people. All I do is I look to see there's something that I have. I own a business. That's what you've got to say to yourself. I own a business. Do you know what you have? Have you made a list to say, what is Ibüümerang to me? Is it just an MLM company? Is it just a trading company? Is it just a travel company? What is it that we have? Number one, I've got community here. Community. How do I feel about this community? How much positivity do I have here? Wow. Is that an asset to someone? Yep. Put it on the asset. What is it that I have to offer? I can offer somebody the ability to be able to multiply their money and create financial independence. Wow. Is that valuable? Yeah. I have the ability for people to be able to travel all the way around the world and have significant discounts and enjoy travel much better and stay in 5-star resorts for 3-star prices. I have access to that. I can impact somebody's world. I have an ability to plug people into a system where training is done every single week, and I have access to it. Guys, guys, I'm sure you've seen on my social media. You've seen me do some of the free webinars that I've been doing, for some of what I'm doing in my chapter. Let me tell you a secret. And about 2 hours from now, I'm probably going to have about anywhere between 500 to 800 people on the call. I'm going to be teaching them the same stuff that I've taught you. It's a free webinar. Okay. Matter of fact, T. Gray, you can put the link in so that they can join. I want you to see it. Do you know that these people have no freaking clue? They're in network marketing. They can't spell the word MLM because their company doesn't offer it. They don't even know anything. Many of them, their mindset on a scale of 1 to 10, where you guys are and where 90% of those people are, you're light years ahead. But it's like waking up knowing that tomorrow's going to come. We tend to take it for granted. Yeah. We tend to take it for granted. And I'm sharing this with you because I want you to understand what you have. And to be able to offer it to a person when you see a need. The 5 people do an assessment and they're like, I'm looking at my assessment, and then the next time I connect with them, maybe I call them today. Maybe I'll see them at work the other day, tomorrow, or whatever it may be. But I use my skill to find a way to ask them questions. Don't offer a business. Ask questions to see if what it is that they have going on in their life, that there's a need for what you offer. And if they have a need and you've got an offer, then now what you do is you present your offer, and what you do is you exchange. These people that I'll have on that call, you know what they're looking for? what you just got on flight school today. They've never heard anything like this. Nobody teaches them about goals. They sign up in network marketing and they get 2 or 3 or 4 customers. And to them, that's like the highest honor that they've ever achieved. They have no idea how to do a 3-way call. They've never heard of edification. Many of them. They don't even know the only thing they know they have to offer is a product. And I'm sharing that with them. I'm just, being transparent with you. Sometimes you start looking for things in all the wrong places without even evaluating what you actually do have. And ask yourself, how many people do I know on my list need what it is that I have? But if you don't know what you offer, if you think all you offering is a script, it's not going to work for you. But if you know, hey, here's what I've got. Here's a list of people. These people have certain needs. Your goal is to assess their needs with what you offer in exchange. That's the goal. Assess their needs with what you offer, find a way to make the exchange. And if you get good at developing these daily tasks, which lead into a new habit, that new habit lead into a new pattern, that pattern leads you to a new skill, you'll start to realize how easy this business really is. And you'll stop looking around at all of these other people that you call them, that you think, or whatever it is, that have more or less than what you have. And you'll start to understand, I am him, I am her. I had to make the decision that I had the value. It wasn't in the company. It wasn't in just the comp plan. It was me. Let me present me to the person the right way. Let me present me to the person the right way. And until you break these frames of thinking that something else is the reason for your lack of growth in any one of these areas besides you, because every one of you, why is your body not the way it is? Well, the gym is too far away. Gym prices went up. Well, you know what? It's crowded in January. Every time I go, the treadmills are all taken. Okay, well, run to the gym. Find a way. Why is it that your being is, why is it that you don't have a connection? Why is it that you're living an aimless life, that you don't even understand, that you're just following something only because out of habit and hereditary, that you have not figured out your own destiny and your purpose here? You're living through somebody. Why? Oh, it's just easier to follow what my dad told me. It's easier to follow what mom told me. Over 90+% of us are not even living nowhere near close to our purpose because we won't even look for it. We're living in the habits and the indoctrination of what somebody else has told us, and we just accept it as true. Why is it that your family, that you don't have all of these things in place? Oh, it's my wife's fault. She's so mean. Oh, it's my husband's fault. He doesn't pay any attention to me, and he talks very harsh. It's always somebody else's fault, when all you can do is take one little step. I got my response. Oh my gosh. She says, OMG, this is such a beautiful message, baby. I'm totally in. I love being with you. Let's run up the heat together. And with all of these emojis. How much did that cost? How much? A little attention. That's all it was. What if I had 5 people in some form or fashion daily that I made them feel this way? It's a new habit. Now I've developed a habit of making people better around me. What is the universe going to say? I need to put more people around you. Do you know why you don't have the right people around you? The universe says, you don't contribute a lot. You criticize, complain, and condemn everywhere you go. Everywhere you go, you always have criticism. Everywhere you go, life is doom. Everywhere you go, you only see the negative. Why should the universe put more people around you? The universe is saying, we don't want you to have more responsibility. We want you to have less. Yeah. How many of you have gotten a response? If you've gotten a response from the person that you sent it to, just put a fire emoji in the chat if you've gotten a response from the person. Here's the thing I want to share with you. Do you know how simple that was that I told you? Do you know over 50% of the people on this Zoom didn't even do it? Didn't even do it. Why? Because they're the habit of being who they are. They're so ingrained on making sure that they continue to make that character. They're going to play that character like a movie, and they're going to win the Oscar for that character of who they are. And nothing but nothing is going to move them off of that particular mark. Nothing's going to move them. But you also see, for those of you who did it, you see how simple life can be. You took one step. You've already done it. Imagine becoming addicted to it. Imagine developing that little habit. That little habit. Doesn't take much. Doesn't take much at all. But if you can do one thing, you can do all four. Who are you going to be in business this year? What's your score going to be? Who's your accountability team? Did you write down your 5 people? When are you going to call them? I want you to write down now. When are they going to know about, when are you going to investigate and find out what it is that they're looking for in their life? Why? So you can see what you have, does it match up with what they're looking for? And so, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to 2024, 2025, I don't care about the year. I'm only using the year as a frame of reference so that we all agree on a specific path moving forward. But that's how simple life can be. You have and were given dominion. That means the authority and the power over your body, your being, your balance, and your business. Okay. And all I want you to do is I want you to move in this direction. I want you to use this simple formula. I just wrote it out on a sheet of paper. It can be more detailed. Okay. But just this alone right here. If this has been valuable information for you, what you heard here, which probably is a little different than what you've done for your goals, if this has been valuable, okay, put me a 5 in the chat. Give me a 5. Okay. You took 2 hours of time to be here today. And what you did is you paid attention. You paid attention. Paid attention. That means you now have received your job to take this, okay, and go make distributions. Go make distributions. You're responsible now. You're the CEO of knowledge. You're the CEO of what you contain, whatever it is that you contain. Do your assessment in this business to understand what you have. Who am I going to go give it to? Who am I going to go and exchange with? Take it to the marketplace. And ladies and gentlemen, I promise you, when you, not if, when you do this, life will change. Your day will change. Your week will change. Your month will change. Your year will change. You will transform into the person that you've always been waiting to see. My challenge is to let you know that that person already exists inside of you. Your job is to peel away all of the bad habits that keeps this person stifled, that keeps this person suffocated. That person's inside you. That person's not in another company. That person's not in another opportunity. That person's inside of you. And when you peel away at these poor beliefs, that bad frame that you have, that mindset, that frame of mind, and step into who it is that you are, understanding your purpose, you can start a brand new life. I can't wait to lead you in 2025. I'm going to do the leading. Your decision is to do the following. Love you guys. Let's go out there and kick some major, major butt this year. You deserve it. Your family deserve it. And everyone who's waiting on you, they deserve to get a piece of your attention. Love you guys. See you.